Welcome to PJ Knits. My name is Penny, and I'm a knitter, a blogger, and a YouTube podcaster. And this is a podcast about knitting, lots of knitting. I live in Central Illinois, and today is May 17th, and weather report for Central Illinois has been rain the last couple of days and rain going forward. So there's a lot of knitting being done at Shea PJ Knits right now, and there's a lot of knit-alongs going on, and that's kind of what I am going to entitle this particular episode, KAL Central. I'm going to tell you about some that I'm doing and some that are out there and some that I'd love to be taking part in. So let's just get started and talk about knitting. So first up, knitting for babes. I wanted to share some things with you. You know that I have, if you are a return viewer, we're having a new grandchild in July, and so I've been doing some knitting for that baby, and I can show it on here because I don't think they watch it. I hope they don't. If they do, turn it off now, please. So I wanted to talk to you about, it's a hashtag and a KAL that we're doing on the PJ Knits group in Ravelry and hashtag knitting for babes on Instagram. And this particular knit that I want to show you right now has a theme. This was the Hungry Caterpillar theme. And I bought the Hungry Caterpillar book as part of the present that I'll be giving at Shawl that'll be coming up next month. And so I wanted to do a cocoon based on the cover of the book. And the first one I did, I double-stranded a worsted weight yarn, and it had a lot of color changes in it, and I just was not happy with the finished product. So once I was done, I chucked it and took the same yarns and then chose a new pattern. And the pattern that I picked out for my second one is from Knit Spot. This is called Barrel a Monkey. And this is done single-strandedly. Here is the pattern that I chose. And I used some of the same things that the same yarns that I did before, only I didn't do as many garter changes. And so here is the finished product, the finished cocoon. And it needs just a little bit of blocking and a little bit of straightening out of the stitches. And this is done out of Haiku Simply Worsted and just one strand. And as you can see, it has some shaping. So this is the back. And then I just used the same colors that I had done before to make it look like a cocoon. So that is from Ann Hansen, is the designer of Knit Spot. And then I decided to just do a red hat. I actually used her hat pattern. Actually, I did not use her hat pattern. I just made a plain red hat out of the red that I had, and I used a variation from Susan B. Anderson's Itty Bitty Hats book. And I actually used a pattern out of it and just did a simple little hat from hers. There's a lot in here. It is actually the Start Simple. And this is the pattern that I used from her book. I had to stop and think about that because I had several iterations going on. And what I loved about it is this crown, how she did the decreasing. I really like that. Now, I could have put the red eyeballs and things like that, black eyeballs on it, but I decided I was not going to do that. At this point in time, I was just going to do the red hat. So I did the red hat. That also is out of the Haiku Simply Worsted, and I did that out of her book. And what I did is to make sure that this would go for a newborn's hat, there is a website that I want to share with you. This is called Bev's, B-E-V as in victory, S, countrycottage.com. And she has a size chart that is a free size chart for all sizes of heads. And so you can check it out. There's her website. I'll try and hold that still. And so to make sure that this would be a good head circumference, I kind of made sure that if I wasn't getting gauge according to the book, that I had this kind of length for my hat. So this is a great website that it is multiples. It goes all the way from a 1 to 2 pound baby all the way up to an adult man. So check that out. It's bevscountrycottage.com/size-chart.html. And so I use that those measurements to make sure that I was getting a good measurement for a newborn, because, you know, one never knows what is the right size for babies. So again, this is part of the books and bags from my library, and I want to talk about itty bitty hats for little kids. This is a great book. I've had it in my library for some time, and I love all of the hats that she's got in here. You know, Susan B. Anderson writes a magnificent pattern, and I have been a fan for quite some time of hers, and I just love everything about this. Vertical stripes. I see a lot of hats. And they're in all different weights in here. And I think this is so cute. Little animals. You can take a little fleece. I just think she does a great job. And so that's where this pattern came from. This is from, the red hat was actually done out of the sport weight, whereas the rest of the Cocoon was all done out of the worsted weight yarn that I had. So I highly recommend this book if you have any babies that you want to knit for. It's just so much fun. And of course there is, for later on, a little pumpkin hat. So that's Susan B. Anderson's Itty Bitty Hats. Okay, and for our bag, as of books and bags, I have a new bag that I will be putting my summer sweater in. And this is from Molly Klein Design. Could not resist getting little Snoopies on the surfing boards. And this is the sweater size. So you can tell it's quite huge. It will fit a sweater and several skeins of yarn and my pattern. So for our Top This 2021 KAL that we are doing in the PJ Knits Ravelry group and on Instagram, this will be what my summer sweater will be in. So I wanted to, and that takes us right into hashtag Top This 2021 KAL. As most of you know, and if you haven't seen the previous episodes, all in 2021 at PJ Knits, we are doing sweaters. And we're trying to do sweaters so that we can wear them in the season. And we're doing this all the way through the end of the year. And right now we just completed the transitional sweaters, which had just a really short period of time to do them in. But as our weather in Illinois has been so chilly, there is absolutely no reason why you couldn't be still wearing them here. So transitional sweaters are actually officially over that portion of the KAL. And we have a winner, and the winner for the transitional sweaters is Annetta. She knit a V-back tee, and you can check hers out. It's a lovely picture, and it's a lovely sweater, and she got a great fit on it. And Annetta, you are going to win a pattern of your choice. So if you let me know what sweater pattern you want, I will gift that to you in Ravelry, and congratulations. So next up, what we are doing for the next period for sweaters for 2021 is summer sweaters. And this is going to go all the way through 8/15. And I have created on the Ravelry group, which is PJ Knits, some bundles for each of my favorites of sweaters for each of the periods. And so I popped a bundle in there for summer sweaters, and we will add to it as we go along the way. So feel free to add to the bundle. We'd love to see some summer sweaters that you're planning on knitting. The finished object that I have that I just finished a couple of weeks ago, this is sugar maple. And sugar maple, I have to tell you, this is a long-term whip, kind of, sort of. I actually cast it on in 2019 of April, and then put it away, and then brought it back out in 2020, and then was obvious as we got to the end of summer that it wasn't going to be done in time to wear. So I put it away for this year, and I put it on my list that I wanted to be able to have this sweater finished and ready to wear before it hit summer. And I finally did that. I bought the yarn from my local yarn shop, the Fiber Universe, and this is called Concentric Cotton. And the yarn itself started out in a hank, and I've shown that before. And it started out with a hot pink, and then it kind of gradiated down, as you can see, somewhat here to the pinks, and then the gray, and then back out, and there was a still yet to go white. And so I finished that one up. I did make some mods, and the mods will be on my Ravelry page, because the pattern itself, Sugar Maple by Karina Spencer, here's a picture of it, has sleeves that were just capped sleeves, which were just finished off about here. And I decided, as always, that that's not something that I would ever feel comfortable in wearing. I prefer at least an elbow sleeve or 3/4, and this particular one I just ended it a little bit shorter than that. And I did make some adjustments on the pattern, and I added extra sleeve stitches under here because I need the width underneath the arm. And this, I've shown this picture before, but I saw this and I liked this, and I liked Choco Cat Mom here. She did the sleeve length, and I liked that, so I wanted to kind of go that direction with it. Now, this one, as you can see from the front, has a point in the front, and then, whoops, and then in the back, it is just cut off, and I wanted to make it a little bit longer in the back, so I did that as well. And I did added more repeats because I wanted to lengthen it a little bit. But again, if you look on my Ravelry project page under Penny J and see under Sugar Maple, you will see that I have made some mods, and I have added them there. So I'm glad to have this one done, and the whole point is, again, is to get your sweaters done and be able to wear them in summer, not be finishing them in winter too late. So I hope that you will join me and knit along, and even pull out some whips. I have, hopefully for the next time we podcast, I have one from last year that needs to be sewn together, and I'm hoping to get that done in time to be able to wear it this summer as well, or to be able to wear it next month, definitely by June. So this is Sugar Maple, and I do recommend this pattern. And the yarn was really, it was really neat because it just kept right on going. I didn't have to switch any yarns or tie off on any yarns at all. I just kept right on going, except for when I got down towards the end, I had a second ball, and so just in case, to make extra length. So that's Sugar Maple. And I wanted to share with you some pattern ideas, a couple of pattern ideas for sweaters that I'm thinking about knitting after I get done with my sewing up of my other one. And this is just some ideas, and what I did is I went to my binder that I have, and I talked about my binder and my folders. I have saving patterns for every season, and I looked at the ones that there were there, and ones that I might want to knit, and I make a list of them pre-season. And then I go to my stash to see if there's any yarn, because again, one of the goals for 2021 for me was to use twofold, to do to knit whips, because I have multiple whips, and also to knit out of my stash and out of my library. So those things were all encompassing in goals that I wanted to do for 2021. And so what I did is I pulled out a pattern. This one is called Sandpiper. This is from Imagine Knit Designs. And maybe it's because she's on the beach, but I just felt like I needed to have this in my wardrobe maybe for summer. And again, not my body, but you know, I'm coming to terms with, I want my sweaters to look good on me, but you know what? Sometimes you just want to be fun. So what I did is I cast on one. I went to my, like I said, I went to my stash, and I found this yarn from forever ago. It's Plymouth's Yarn Baby Bunny. And I bought it from Unique Yarns, which was in Morton, which was another local yarn shop, but they've been out of business for several years. And I had sufficient yarn, and this was the best, was a good weight for it. And I thought, doesn't that look like something that would really be fun? And the thing I like about this particular pattern too is you don't have to just wear it over skinny jeans and a tank, but I thought, wouldn't this be a fun top to go over a sundress? Because again, and I could wear a sundress because it would cover this particular pattern, and it's very easy to adapt. It gives you multiple sizes. The smallest size, the small width is 26 wide through the body, which means that's a 52 inches across. So very adaptable to whatever I wanted to do. So I'm using this yarn, and I've got it in my Hohi bag that I bought the winter time. And so I have just cast on this. And you know what's so fun about this particular sweater is this one's just an easy one, an easy sweater to do. You don't have to pay too much attention to it. There's some increases and then easy. It's just an easy knit. So I'm working on this particular one. That is Sandpiper. And it's just a fun knit to sit out on the front porch, or when it's not raining, sit down at Peoria Riverfront and do some knitting on it. And so I've got that as sweater. And then the next one I looked at this last year. I tried to buy yarn for it, and then I just didn't. I couldn't find what I actually wanted. And this is another Heidi Kermeyer design. This is called Over the Top Tee. And again, this one is, I'll bring it close, because this sleeve would be very adaptable, to make that even longer. And she shows it over a skirt here. And the particular yarn, I want to say, it is 2 strands of lace or fingering weight held together, or 1 strand of sport or DK weight. And so what I did is I went to my stash again, and I've had this from Knit 4 Together, another local yarn shop. We used to have 3 local yarn shops to us, and now we just have the one. And they've been out of business for several years as well. And I found this Duo Plus by Adriafie. And this is perfect. This is a sport weight. And so my plan is, after I finish Sandpiper, is to cast on the Over the Top Tee. And so that's going to be another one of my summer knits. Out of my library, out of my stash. So I am looking forward to that. So I wanted to share those couple of patterns that I'm planning on knitting for the hashtag Top This 2021 KAL Summer Edition. And if you join us, please post in the Threads group, in the thread about summer sweaters, show your finished project, by 8:15 and be entered to win a prize for the next period. And let's have some conversation. Let us know what you're knitting for summer. Or if you're not knitting sweaters for summer, that's all right as well. We'd love to have you join us. Okay. Oh, other KALs that are going on. I will talk about next time the Summer of Shawls. That is a KAL that we do every year at PJ Knits, because shawls are so easy to knit for summer. If you don't want to knit a sweater, then shawls are fun too, and that is a KAL that we will be talking about next time. But in the meantime, I wanted to share a finished object with you, Shawl and Tell. And this is Shadow Shawl by Antonio Shankland. And I want to tell you that this yarn that I am about to show you was birthday yarn that I received in 2016 from my friend Becky. And this is another long-term whip that I finished just on Sunday and blocked it today. And this was cast on 6/21/2019. And I was bound and determined to, again, do some whips in 2021 to finish them. And so I brought this one out, and I thought I should get a couple of my whip shawls done before we actually cast on new shawls. And this yarn, the main color is, which is the green in here. This is the Shadow Shawl. And it is, both of them are sparkly yarns. The green is from Neon Unicorn Studios. It's Diamond Dust Sock in Ephemeral Waves. And then the contrast, which is the variegated that sits in here, which is also a sparkle, is from another crafty girl. It is her Twinkle Sock in Spiked Tail. And so, there you go. Try and get the little sparkle. There you go. And I am super, super happy to have that complete. And it's a triangular shawl, and it's a nice knit. And it just makes the waves. And it was just a fun knit. And again, one that I could do while I was sitting there during Zoom meetings or down at the riverfront or watching TV. It's just super, it was a super fun knit, easy to do, and you never had to break the yarn. You just carried the yarn each time. So that again is Shadow Shawl. And I got to knit up a gift yarn plus a whip. And I got a shawl for summertime if I want to wear it, or I've got one come fall. So that was super fun, and I was so pleased to get that finished. One of the other KALs that is out there and about right now is on Caddy Jacks, and they are doing the half and half wrap, half and half triangle wrap, and this is a free pattern by Pearl Soho. And it's going to be a huge shawl, but after I finished my Shadow Shawl, I thought I'm going to bring this back out. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the yarn. My friend Debbie gave me a new bag last year, and I had vacillated so much about what colors, 2 colors of linen quill that I wanted to use. Originally, I had purchased this green turquoise for a sweater, and then I decided I really didn't like it in the sweater, so I ripped it out, and I had bought a flamingo corally color for it, and I was going to do the 2 of them together for this. And then I looked at them for a while, and you know, it just wasn't me, and so then I ordered a flamingo pink, and I thought, well, I'll do the flamingo pink in it. And I was like, actually what happened was I bought flamingo pink and I bought eggshell. And I was going to do them together, and I was set on them. And then I looked at them, and I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I was like, Penny, what is your colors? And so what I was doing is I was looking down into my bag where this was open, and I saw the lining, and I saw this darker turquoise green and then this lighter aqua. And when I saw those, I'm like, that's what I want to do. That is me, right? That is the yarn, that is the colorways that I want to do. And I had them. And so this is going to be my half and half triangle wrap. And I've already cast on the eggshell, and this is the linen quill from Pearl Soho. This is eggshell blue, and this is the green turquoise. And so those are going to be the two that I am doing mine. And I just was thinking and showing today on Instagram, but you know, when I look into this bag, I see potential for other half and half wraps, if that's what you want to do. This would be so cool, this lighter pink and then that papa pink. Or if you wanted to add the yellow to that papa pink, or that yellow to that, or even a yellow, a bright yellow, and then a golden yellow has possibilities. So I think there's so many possibilities in choosing yarns, at least for me, for finding colors that go together. I look at catalogs and nature and photos, and you see, you know, there are times when I would be driving home and I would see a sunset come, and I think those are the colors that I want to have in a sweater or in yarn. So there is colors all around us, and inspiration can be gotten from everywhere. And so I encourage you to look at everything with an encouraging eye for matching colors if you're like me and you have a hard time doing that. And one of the things that I got in the mail today was a catalog. And it's been a while since I've gotten catalogs because I haven't been buying anything. But Soft Surroundings is one that I received today. And, you know, just looking in here and using, and I'm saving this because using the ready-to-wear fabrics and prints for potential colors that go together. And I thought, look at this. The colors that they have thrown there, or even the colors that are on the front. This bright yellow and then a denim blue, kind of a denim blues that go together. And so I just think, and this is the kind of thing that I get inspiration from, and then I put this into my journal, and we'll talk about that more at a future date. I'll show you my journal that I've started doing. But look at this and the brights, so many brights for summer. Anyway, I encourage you, save your catalogs for inspiration if you're not already, because for me, this is how I get my inspiration. So I thought that was super cool and very timely that it came. Okay. The next KAL that I want to talk about that's out and about is one that is being done on Frugal and Frivolous on their podcast. And they are, and I first became aware of this pattern on 3-Ply podcast that I also watch. This is called The Sweet Little Nothings. And this is by Pink Shawl Girl. And Pink Shawl and I, Pink as they call her, Susan, she designed this pattern. And there's a KAL going on for this one. And I'm vacillating about which one of my yarns that I want to use. I had planned on using one, and then I was watching the gals on Frugal and Frivolous today, and it sent me in another direction. So this is one that is going on for, I want to say for a couple of months, And this is a great little design by Susan. You can add beads to it or not. And again, I probably won't do the beads, but this is Sweet Little Nothing. This definitely could be a shawl that we talk about again next month in Summer of Shawls too. So that one is going on. That's a possibility. And then one that our Central Illinois yarn shops are doing, and this one's a short-lived one. This one's going to be only about a month. But anyway, this particular cast on starts on Wednesday. And for those of you who have followed Prairie Pipeline, Paula Emmons Feasley, she was a local gal here. I attended several of her February retreats, and she's done retreats in Maine, and she's done October retreats. Paula passed away earlier this year after a couple of year battle with ovarian cancer, and is really going to be missed in the knitting community. So the Central Illinois yarn shops decided to do a little knit along in honor of her. And the hashtag is hashtag Prairie Pipeline KAL, and they are doing Wild Goose Shawlette, and this is the pattern, and this one easily could be done one skein of your sock yarn, of your special yarn. It could be done in a solid, it could be done in multiple yarns, and I had one picked out, and then I'm like, oh, I'm not sure about that either. And what I'm trying to do is finish up my one shawl at a time. So I'm trying not to get too many out there, but this is a knit along that is going on right now, and in honor of Paula. So the yarn shops, if you buy the yarn from Fiber Universe, Close Knitting, I want to say, in Champaign, and then Le Mouton Rouge over in Bloomington Normal, Illinois. They are all three. If you buy your yarn for this knit along, you can be entered in a prize drawing over there. And again, the hashtag is hashtag Prairie Pipeline KAL. So that is just one of many KALs that are going on. There's so much. I am a podcast watcher. I am a KAL wannabe participator, and I think all of them are so fun. I want to do this, I want to do that, and then I think, oh my gosh, concentrate, Penny, concentrate, focus. So it's so hard to participate, but there are multiple KALs out there, and I encourage you to join those if it's something that you want to do. And again, one of our KALs that we're doing here at PJ Knits, we'd love to have you along for that. Okay, mail call. So for some time now, I have had this pattern, and I have wanted to knit it. There was a KAL that the Grocery Girls were doing about it. It is Andrea Mowry's Comfort Fade Cardi. And I wanted to do it. And I've had the yarn in my cart from La Bien Aimée many times, and just couldn't push the button because it is an investment. And again, this is not a sweater for right now. It's a sweater for later. So then, Legacy Fiber Arts. I follow Sue. I'm on Sue's Periscope, or it's now Instagram. I listen to her a couple of times a week, and she was showing some DK yarn that she was dyeing and was knitting DK socks out of. And I thought, I'm gonna get some of her yarn. I've had some of it before, and I'm gonna buy a couple of colorways, and I'm going to knit the DK socks. Well, when I got them, I decided that this would be the perfect fade. And so I turned around and ordered enough to do the fade, with the exception of one of the skeins. And so here are the 3 skeins that I am going to use. And then I don't know yet what the last one's going to be. If it's going to be, If it's going to be a gray or a blue, I haven't decided, or a navy, I haven't decided yet. But this is going to be part of my fate. And as luck will have it, I don't have to make that decision until I get way down. I've got a ways to go. So this is Legacy Fiber Arts. This particular one is Aquanet. This is Sea Glass. Look at that. And so I certainly could go with a navy at the end. And this one is Kirk. And again, it brings out those colors as well. So fade is going to go something like this, I do believe. Let's do that way, huh? Or we can do this way. Let's see. Let's make it easy for you to see. Here we go. Let's try it again. So that's going to be my fade, and it will be a later in the summer towards fall knit. But there we go. So I'm looking forward to that, and that was so much fun. And then I couldn't resist. My local yarn shop, the Fiber Universe, she posts every couple of days or every day on Instagram, and I'm an Instagram junkie. And she had a yarn come up. This is the Dream Pop-Up Club for May 2021, her Smooshy Cashmere, and it's a fingering weight. And so I got 4 skeins of this, and I don't think that this may be a later in the summer sweater, or I may save it for something in the fall, another ground pepper. Just plain colors is what I'm thinking right now. But look at that. Is that not gorgeous? So that is super, super fun. And the more I think about it, it might be just a ground pepper in all one color, no fade, which is what I'm really thinking about doing. So I've got a lot of knitting there. I got a lot of knitting going on, and thankfully, a lot of time to do it. And I'm so happy with that. So that's all the knitting that I have to share with you. I have just a couple of things that I want to say here at the end. I want to say welcome back, Allison, to the United States. As far as I know, you're back, and in a couple of weeks, we'll see you down at the riverfront. Glad to have you back. It's going to be fun spending the summer with you. I can't wait to get together and have you back with us for a while. I want to do a special thank you to Pam. Pam, thank you for reaching out to me on Ravelry. Your kind words about my EZ and PJ journey that I'm taking, and about the podcast in general. I do appreciate your kind words and making me feel like it's all worth it. Thank you so very much. Thank you to our new subscribers. And if you don't subscribe, please do, because that builds the numbers, and it's fun to see more subscribers, to know that I'm reaching other people. Tell a friend, invite them over to watch my podcast, leave a comment below, join our Ravelry group, follow on Instagram. I am PJ Knits on Instagram. Our group in Ravelry is PJ Knits. I am Penny J is my real name on Ravelry. I host a blog, which is www.pjknits.blogspot.com, where I talk about knitting as well. And just, again, thank you for joining me on this podcast. I do appreciate you tuning back each time and listening to me talk about my knitting. And I'd love to hear about your knitting as well. So until the next time we meet, in a couple of weeks, spitting everything out. If I can just do that, that would be helpful, huh? Knit on with confidence and hope. Listen attentively to the world, and then write your own story, okay? Talk to you later. Thanks again. Bye.